So now moving on to item 7, the Capital Project Performance Report. Ruth Cable, welcome to the table. If you'd like to start with an introduction, as Peter did, to the purpose and frequency of this report, and then any comments on the report that's in front of us today. Thank you.
Mr Chairman, could I first introduce Ruth, because she hasn't been in front of the Council before, I don't think, and Ruth joined us a couple of months ago over the elections and has taken on the role of Head of PMO. Ruth came to us from Meridian Energy, and so welcome, Ruth. I think she's met a number of you individually, but I don't think we have introduced her formally to the whole of Council. So,
cool. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, councillors. It's good to be here this morning. So this report in front of you details all of our capital performance against budget. So you'll get that on a monthly basis. So all of capital includes transport, three waters, major and community facilities, parks and IT, just to name a few. And of the current 520 million budgeted this, for capital this financial year, 108 of that is delivered by third parties. So you'll see on page 28 the specific projects that are delivered by third parties. So I'll speak high level to the report. We've got some heads of and some delivery managers to the side if you have any specific questions. So just note that the data captured in this report is as of the 20th of October. At that time, we had 889 projects on the go against a budget of 520 mil this financial year. So the current project manager forecast against that budget is 495 mil. We've got some key projects this financial year that are kind of driving that forecast. So there are some big ones. We've got the Northern Corridor and downstream effects, Metro Sport, the multi-use arena and the Littleton Harbour wastewater. So that's over 100 mil of this year's spend alone. On page 29 and 30, you'll see some breakdown around carryovers and bringbacks. So just to explain for the people who haven't seen this report before, carryovers and bringbacks exist when we've got a portion of the budget that was for that particular project that was originally planned for this current financial year, either moving into next financial year or coming back into this financial year. So it's not a project budget issue, it's not a whole of life project budget issue, it's more around what we've got set aside for that project this financial year. So it's more around timing, where we might be accelerating a project or we may be delaying for a number of reasons. So ultimately we are managing delivery of all our projects within that 520 mil regardless of what's moving back and forth. So the net carryover this financial year at present, forecast by our PMs, is 39 mil. Spend to date, first 4 months, 121 mil against a forecast of 128. Currently forecast to spend for the remaining 8 months 366 million. Of that, 103 is delivered by third parties. To date, with third parties, we've spent 36 mil. So in terms of council-owned delivery, project managers are forecasting 384 mil against a budget of 412 mil. So that's approximately 93% of delivery against budget. I'll open it up to any questions.
Thank you. So any questions for Ruth on this report? Yanni.
Thank you for the report. Just wondering, in terms of the projects that are going slower than planned, is there a way in which we can be sort of updated? Like, I just take the Chewham Street brick barrel, where it says carry forward flag due to slower than planned rate of pipeline.
Yep.
Are we able to sort of get information to the local board community over, you know, what that new time frame would look like, or how far out it is?
So we've got a public facing map at the moment, which is on our external website, which provides information to our community boards. Dave and I are actually going to be attending those community boards within the next couple of months or so and giving them an overview of that, which provides estimation start date, estimation complete date. We've also got a watch list report of projects that you'll be receiving in relation to timing changes.
Right, okay.
Just specifically on the Chewham Street, I think we have reported, and I'm just trying to think, Yanni, where we did report up. It's to do with we've found concrete from old tram lines, so it's actually taken us a lot longer to dig up and replace. So there is a new timetable, but certainly we can flick that around to councillors and to community boards. I'm sure we have reported it up somewhere, but off the top of my head, I can't remember
Okay,
where.
no, that's good. And just the final question from me is in regards to the cycleway, MCR Heathcote Expressway Section 2, Tannery to Martindale's, and it says here possible delay because of the lizard habitat could dictate when construction can happen, and it's really good to have that acknowledged because I think that was one of the things that held up the previous section. But I just wanted some reassurance around what work we're doing around that river corridor, given the ecological sensitivity. Like, is there a date for which we'll be able to see, here's what the ecological assessment has shown? And does that tie into any sort of ability to improve the stormwater discharge along that area as well?
Richard? I can't answer to that, but
Or
Richard.
Helen, it's a big ranging question, that one.
Is that in scope for this report, though?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I don't know if I can give you a date on exactly when we'll be able to work our way through those ecological assessments, but I guess in the broad sense, what we're trying to do is ensure that the impact of the cycleways has the lowest impact ecologically on that important habitat as possible. So we're just working our way through it. I haven't got a specific date, but it will be in the new year, I think.
We've now got two parts of the cycleways through around my ward that are now delayed because of ecological, or possibly delayed because of ecological. The other one's the Charlesworth Estuary area. I just really want to know what the system is now that we're putting in place to get visibility of that work and what the requirements may be as a result of that work.
We do a pretty comprehensive report to what used to be the ITI committee, but now obviously there's Transport and Urban Development, with a detailed update of all the major cycleway projects and any delays or any issues in that. So that report will be forthcoming next week.
So the information relating to the question that's been asked will come in that report to that committee?
That's correct.
Thank you.
We have also employed just recently an ecologist to help in the consenting around biodiversity issues. She specialises actually in lizards because they are quite a number of issues. They sit within our technical design services team. So again, if the council at any stage wanted a briefing on the kind of broader picture of that, we certainly have got that ability because it's not only impacting in your ward. There were some in Councillor Chen's ward just recently. There were. We've got them right across the.
All right. So let's wait for the report to come to the appropriate committee, and if we need to pick up the need for a workshop or whatever from there, we can. The purpose for today is to realise that this project is delayed for the reasons that have been outlined. The opportunity to delve deeper into those reasons will come when the report comes to the Transport Committee.
Yeah, and just the NZTA delayed funding, is there a kind of clear memo about the impact that that's having or continuing to have?
Again, that'll be updated to the Urban Development and Transport Committee next week.
Right. Okay, great.
But we did earlier on this year. We gave you some pretty detailed briefings and memos about the impact that would have, and there's a council resolution requiring us not to proceed with projects if we don't have funding assured. So that's why we're being very careful in terms of working through with NZTA to have funding approved by them prior to going to market.
But a big report next week to the Transport Committee.
A report to the Transport and Urban Development Committee. Thank you. Jimmy.
Thank you, Chair. On page 27, 1 of 10 council deliver project, particular Rickton Road, from Harakiki to Multiple. These $7 million, I just want to know how about our progress? Is because you have no any the carry forward or bring forward those budget, whether it's on kind of on the on schedule regarding progress. No. It's
Rickton Road.
Rickton Road, yeah. Because why I raise this issue? Because there's some of the, the particular, the residents along the Rickton Road. They told me that this Rickton Road take several years, there the customer gone, disappear. They particular concern is possible, can ahead of schedule, can finish as quickly as possible.
We are ahead of schedule, Councillor Chen. We've stopped at the moment for the Christmas break to ensure we don't disrupt businesses over that busy commercial period for them. But the project is ahead of schedule. I think we've briefed you previously on that, and we may even be ahead of the revised schedule as well. So things are looking good for next year. We're briefing. We've updated them on the revised date, which has brought forward the delivery date by a number of months.
Yes.
But we are hopeful to even finish ahead of that. But I can't confirm that at this stage.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any further questions? Anne.
Thank you, and nice to meet you, Ruth. Thanks for the clear outline of a clear report. I just you mentioned something about a public-facing map that people can access. Whereabouts is that? So that are you saying that community members can actually go somewhere and find out the status of a project and that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's on the external website. It's under council,
Yes.
and then there's something called future projects, and it's under that. So
Right.
there's a link you press. It's called Capital Program Map.
Great, thank you. And is there any? We have a Smart View. I don't know what it's called. It's like an app, but it's not really. But where people can actually Smart View, yeah, and can find information. Is there any? Is there information loaded onto that about this, or do they have to go to the website? Perhaps that's an unfair question. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you
Maybe
know
what I'm saying is
I'm not
that's
sure
very
whether it's linked to Smart App. I'm not sure. We could find out.
Yeah.
We are going to go around and just reiterate that you can get each ward boundary, you can get all the projects in them no matter what, then you can click on them, get the dates and the time and the money and a brief description of it. So absolutely, it's been probably out there for 2 months.
Yeah.
So we are just going to push it out. It's also good for the public. They can find out what's happening in their street.
Exactly.
It's got all the roadworks on it. It's got all the reseals, all the footpath upgrades for the next couple of years. And it's got all the capital projects on it. So I thought we had sent a memo round and a link to you as councillors, but again, we can certainly send another link around so that you are aware of where it is.
Let's either send it or resend it so that we've got all that information. That would be good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? So we've got a resolution in front of us to receive the information in the Capital Programme Performance Report, which I'm happy to move. Can I have a seconder? Aaron Keown. All those in favour say aye. Against? That's